Hey everybody, we are live. We are back after a week of not being on the air and half of us had fun in Las Vegas covering SummerSlam and CinemaCon.
Yeah.
The other half, like me, stayed home and we're working on stuff. But I'm Mike Sandoval and we're here for another week of This Week in Pro Wrestling. Introduce yourself.
And once again, it is me, the J to the E to the double F-free. I am Jeffrey Harris, and I am back from Las Vegas.
You survived.
Here for more This Week in Wrestling. And in case you missed us a little while ago, we did a preview show while I was in Vegas to preview SummerSlam. I was at SummerSlam. I attended SummerSlam. I was credentialed by WWE for SummerSlam, so I got some good coverage for that
What?
event.
You got a
Yeah,
credential. Damn, you all
yeah.
fancy.
So and man, I have to say, the Allegiant Stadium is quite the venue. It was. I wish I. I guess my only regret is I didn't get to explore it a little bit more and get to sort of walk around the sort of the floor and the general area,
Mm-hmm.
and see. I guess see the merchandise stands and whatnot. But the exterior, the interior of the stadium was quite the sight to behold, and it was a very good trip. Thank you to WWE for credentialing me on behalf of 411 Mania. And you can still check out my coverage for SummerSlam on 411mania.com/wrestling, or you can check out at 411 Wrestling Twitter or my Twitter at WillJack83. You might have to scroll down a little bit because there was a lot of other things going on after SummerSlam with CinemaCon, but it is all up there. All right. Leading off first for the news today, we have actually some tragic news. The pro wrestler Daphne, who has worked for Shine Wrestling, Ring of Honor, Shimmer, WCW, TNA, Impact Wrestling. Her family has confirmed the news of her passing. Daphne, her real name, Shannon Spruill. She posted a video on social media last night. I don't want to get into it too deeply because I still don't know all the details.
Yeah.
She was clearly having some problems. Um, and let's see. It indicated that there could have been self harm about to happen, and her family did confirm her passing today. But this is a tragic loss. She was a great wrestler, a great talent. I'm devastated by this news. Daphne was, she was one of a kind. She was a unique talent, and my heart goes out to her family and her loved ones right now. So I want them to know that I'm thinking of them, and I'm very sorry about what's happened to Shannon. So, my condolences to the family of Shannon Spruill, and rest in peace. But yeah, I'm sorry to leave off with such terrible news, but
No.
this has to be brought up. And also, if you're feeling lost and you need help, just know that you're not alone, and reach out to someone. And if you're ever thinking about hurting yourself, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It's 1-800-273-8255. You can also get help if you're in the UK. Call the Samaritans helpline at 116-123. But please, if you're not feeling right, if you feel something is wrong, please call out and reach out for help, please.
Yeah.
And I'm very sorry about what happened to Shannon.
Yeah. It's I read about it this morning and I've read about it all day today, and it's really sad. I even saw the video because
I
some
did not.
outlets
I couldn't watch the video, but yeah,
some
I heard
outlets
about it.
showed the video, and it was clear what happened, and it's sad to see what occurred. And I've been there. I've had those moments when I was in high school and college, and that's the one thing for a lot of people to always remember. There's always help out there, and that you're not alone in this. And get the help. Trust me, it really does
Yeah,
help a lot.
I know
So.
it's easy. It's easy for me to say that,
Mhm.
but it, and I can only imagine what she was feeling because when you're experiencing depression like that, it's terrible. It
Yeah.
feels awful. And um I
And
once
see,
heard Phil just I'm sorry,
no,
but I
don't.
want to say
Go ahead.
this. I once heard Phil Hendry compare, like, when you have depression, like real crippling depression, it feels like you're on fire. Like
Yeah.
your body is on fire like 24/7.
Hmm.
And for people who feel that depression, the act of suicide, it feels like getting a douse of water when you're on fire.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just trying to say I understand when you're feeling depression, and it's not something you can just turn off like a light switch. It's bad, and it's something you have to work through. And I want people who are feeling that way to know that you can talk to someone, you can get help somewhere, and I don't want them to hurt themselves. But
Yeah, and there's
go
so many
ahead, Michael.
wrestlers, and there's so many wrestlers who have been through this, who have gone through it, especially taking since they've been taking painkillers. And you don't know what she's. I don't know what she's been through. I don't know if she was hurting
She's
from.
probably had injuries throughout her
Yeah,
career. This is a
exactly. And
tough business. You
yeah,
experience so much rejection,
mhm,
um, mental and emotional strain. I can only imagine what wrestlers up to this day are going through.
yeah,
And now we do know more about the mental health issue side, but
mhm,
I'm worried if wrestlers are not getting the help they need, and I hope if they are feeling that, they can get some help and call
mhm,
someone or talk to someone. But I'm very sad about this news for Daphne.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Um, but
And now,
yes,
now on to a little bit more happier notes.
yeah,
So
yeah. So just um, my condolences to the family of Shannon Spruill, and um, I don't know what else to say here.
yeah,
It's just such a tough subject, but
hmm,
my heart goes out to them, her family and loved ones, in getting through this terrible time, and to the fans as well who love Daphne and Shannon. But yeah, so yeah.
definitely,
All right. So moving on. So
definitely.
since we were kind of out of it for a little bit after the SummerSlam stuff,
Mhm.
the same day we had the debut of CM Punk in
Yes,
AEW. So CM
yes.
Punk has officially joined AEW. So now let's see. Since we had some talk from our viewers last time about CM Punk, I want to go over the CM Punk
Mm,
ratings
let me.
for that first Rampage. So for the Friday Rampage, was CM Punk's debut with the first dance in Chicago. They did 1.129 million viewers. So they did over 1.1 million viewers. Let's see what else. Like, they got reported in Variety about this,
Yeah,
and a 0.57 rating. So this is for a 10 o'clock show that comes on after Friday Night SmackDown, and they still did over 1.1 million viewers. Um, they did a pretty high increase, I think, from the week before. Let's see. 75 increase in ratings and 53% increase in total viewers for Rampage for the CM Punk debut. What did you think of CM Punk's debut, the promo, the things he said? This is I left wrestling and Ring of Honor in 2005. In 2021, I came back.
I thought it was a great entrance, a great way to come back. He did take a couple jabs, which I kind of expected he was going to take a couple jabs at WWE. But like he said, if he's seeing something that he enjoys and he likes the fact that he's seeing that there's a lot of great talent, a lot of growth, a lot of potential in this company. I mean, there's no reason why. I mean, that's the whole reason why he came back, and that's the reason why he wanted to come back. And it shows. And it shows. He seems to be loving each time he comes out, and last night on Dynamite, it showed it even more. Even more. I think it was a great pickup.
My thing for me before this started, I was skeptical if he really wanted to come back to wrestling and if his heart was really in it. And I think what that promo did is it convinced me that he's in this for the long haul. He wants to be there and he's happy to be there and he's happy to be back. And I listened to the conference call he had with Tony Khan after. You can watch the whole thing on AEW's YouTube channel. Actually, put the whole media call up on their YouTube, and he seems to be in good spirits, and that was what I really wanted to see. And now I can believe that CM Punk is in this for real and he wants to be back. So,
Yeah.
also, I wanted to give a shout out to our people in the comment section, our viewers, Emily Glover, Nathan Rita. Thanks for joining us. We're doing some AEW CM Punk talk now. The other thing the promo did on Rampage was it set up his first pay-per-view match. Punk will be making his AEW in-ring debut at AEW All Out on Sunday, September 5th. He will be facing Darby Allin, uh, basically in Chicago, Hoffman Estates, Illinois. It's basically a Chicago suburb. So it'll be Punk's hometown against Darby Allin on pay-per-view this Sunday. So we're already getting Punk's debut match. Do you think Darby Allin is the right opponent for Punk's debut,
I think
Michael?
so. I think so. I think it matches up well. I think it's a up and comer versus a guy trying to see if he can still be in the business. It sets up a good storyline. And you got two guys who are really getting a lot of pop right now, who are getting a lot of excitement from the fans. It's gonna be one of those matches where I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm thinking like I've never bought an AEW pay per view. I'm thinking maybe I will buy an AEW pay per view for this one.
I think this is definitely going to draw a little more juice, a little more interest for AEW with
Yeah,
this pay per view. Now that this, you have to think Punk has not wrestled
yeah,
since the 2014 Royal Rumble, so that's over 7.5 years.
yeah.
So this will be Punk's first wrestling match, the first time he's been in a match since January 2014, and that's crazy.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw Dynamite last night.
Yeah.
He looked a little rusty when he got that GTS, getting ready for that GTS. But I'm sure he's working on it and getting ready.
Fightful's been reporting that he has been training, but not only has he not wrestled in over 7.5 years, he's also older, so that's going to be another factor.
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting to see what it's like when he finally gets in there, and will we be hearing that you still got a chance
Yeah,
and whatnot.
exactly. But
Uh,
he also releases a lot of leaks during his time, especially that night when everybody was doing the yes chant and
oh yeah,
him saying that's somebody other shtick, but you're gonna have to wait for that one.
yeah. The rumor going around is that Bryan Danielson, formerly Daniel Bryan, will be debuting this Sunday as well. But, or I don't know. The original rumor is it would have happened in their debut show in Queens, New York,
Mhm.
later in September. But now people are saying it could happen earlier, as early as Sunday. But we'll see. So let's do a quick rundown of Dynamite.
Yeah, definitely.
This was also so a lot of Chicago shows. So playing to the crowd, and I think they had more ice cream bars.
Oh yeah, they
Uh,
did. They did, and they have ice cream bars for tomorrow too. For
yeah, yeah. They should.
yesterday's
They
taping.
need to. They need to do. They need to expand the production of the ice cream bars thing, don't they?
Same here. I'm like, I'm waiting for the ice cream bars to come out to LA so
Yeah,
I can
I
get
want.
one.
I
I want
want
to
the
try
CM
it out.
Punk ice cream bars, but how do you like that? After 10 years, we finally get a payoff to the whole ice cream bar gag.
I know.
Uh,
It only took a while, but
it took 10
eventually it
years.
happened. Yeah.
But I mean, how funny is that? Like they like he gets the whole ice cream bars thing over, and WWE never bites on that. And then 10 years later, it's like AEW's we're gonna do the CM Punk ice cream bars. That's great.
Exactly. Exactly. And just say, yeah, what the let's do it.
Okay,
And then
so
some of those original ice cream bars from that
yeah,
People have been selling them for like $8,000 in their
The
rack.
the ones from the 80s and early
Yeah,
90s. Oh my god.
like I wouldn't even open it up and
Ugh.
buy it, but
Ugh.
and I don't even want to see what it looks like in there.
It's like it's like a Sonic the Hedgehog fan would buy like a Sonic ice cream bar.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just I don't know
Yeah.
how
Ugh.
they're selling for
I
that
would
much.
not want to
But
buy one of them.
yeah, but hey,
Just
the
make new
concept's
ones.
something
Just
in
make
there.
new ones, and let us have new WWE, AEW ice cream bars.
Yeah,
All right.
but here's the thing: if WWE were to make ice cream bars now, who would they put on the ice cream bar?
They did ice cream sandwiches actually,
Mhm.
and I think they did a mix. Let's see. Okay, so the new one, the ice cream one bars that they put like faces on, they put They did Roman Reigns, Macho Man, and I think John Cena and Becky Lynch.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Macho Man was the one sort of legend they did,
Yeah.
and the others they did were Roman Reigns, Becky Lynch, and John Cena. Here, I'll send you the link if you want to
Yeah.
share some photos.
I would like to see it because
Yeah,
I've
there you
never
go.
seen the sandwiches. So there we go. Since we're
These
talking
weren't
ice
these
cream
weren't
sandwiches,
ice
that's
cream
cool.
these weren't ice cream bars. They did new ice cream sandwiches.
Oh, okay.
I think this was a little while ago.
Kind of looking like the Klondike bar, except it's
Yeah, yeah. They were cookie sandwiches from Good Humor,
yeah.
but
I
they
know they
weren't.
showed that nice little
Yeah,
strawberry shortcake, but unfortunately that isn't what we're trying to show.
yeah. I don't think you can. I don't know if they're still selling these now, but this was. I remember this being a thing a little while ago. But we never got the CM Punk ones until now. So yeah, these are the latest WWE ice cream ice
Did
cream
they ever
things.
show like what the CM Punk ice cream bar looked like on the inside? Because I did
Oh
not.
yeah, it's just I think it's just ice cream covered in fudge. Here, I'll try to find a photo. It really just has the wrapper has his name on
Oh,
it.
here we go. I found it.
Yeah, they're on Twitter.
Yeah, I found it right now. And and ironically, it's in Eater, Chicago. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think the big thing was that CM Punk got these done locally.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he had them made locally by a local like ice cream maker called Pretty Cool Ice Cream,
Yeah.
and I think they did the ice cream bars. I think for all the AEW events because they're still
Yeah.
giving them out. But they could like expand production for this and probably make a decent profit, don't you think?
Yeah. I think they could. I really think they could.
But apparently on at Rampage for his debut, CM Punk paid for ice cream for everyone in the arena. So,
Yeah.
and that just kind of shows like how the connection Punk has to his fans and his fan base in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool.
I agree.
Okay, so let's get to Dynamite. So we opened things up. We had FTR back in the ring, renewing their rivalry with Santana and Ortiz. Um, had a great match, I think.
It was. It was a really exciting match.
Um, was glad to see FTR back in there. So I think one of them had like a really bad cut that was
Yeah.
causing problems
What's the
for
guy? Dash Wheeler? Is it Dash Wheeler who got cut?
Ash Wheeler. Yeah.
Yeah. He got cut somewhere in the forearm, and it was really bad. It wasn't the bleeding wasn't stopping either. And they had it on TV, and they showed a couple of things. They
Oh
didn't show
God,
anything
yeah.
back then, and it was a bad injury. And I don't know how bad it was, or if what they're saying is
He said
exactly what
loss of
it is.
feeling. I don't know if this is true or kayfabe, but he said loss of feeling and nerve damage.
Mhm.
Now, looking at that cut, I can kind of believe that because
Yeah,
that looks horrible.
because they caught it on TV, and it was bad. Like it was not the bleeding just wasn't stopping.
Nonetheless, I was glad to see FTR get back in there. Big win by Santana and Ortiz. So they finally got a win over FTR. It was a great match, great TV match. And I don't know if the feud will be continuing from here, but I wouldn't mind if these two teams have more matches with each other.
Yeah, I think they just need to space them out. I want to see them fight other people.
Yeah,
Don't want
I
a big
agree.
match every week, but I think if they come back to it every so often, I'm okay with that.
Okay, Orange Cassidy beat Jack Evans. Let's see here. I think this was, it was fine. It was short and sweet, I think.
Hmm.
Let's see. Okay, so John Moxley is going to be facing Satoshi Kojima. We're not getting the Tanahashi match that I want yet, but
No.
hopefully soon. Jim Ross and Chris Jericho. I think this Chris Jericho MJF feud has been going very well.
Yeah,
Jericho is
it
going to
really
be
has.
putting his career on the line for the final fight with MJF. So he was talking with JR about this. Uh, really dug this. I think the promos for this angle have been fire. Jericho was really good last night, but what do you think, Mike?
I really like this, and I think this is where it has to come to an end in this. I don't want to see it go any further than this. It's already been long enough. I think one, we know MJF is a good heel. He's really selling it, and if you checked out some of the posts that he does for Cameo, they're hilarious because he never breaks character. He's the MGF you see on screen is the MGF you get on your Cameo, and it's hilarious. But I think this is I'm hoping this is the end, and this will be a good ending to whatever in the world happens.
Okay, we also have Powerhouse Hobbs versus Brian Cage. Sorry, we have a bit of a phone call background.
Mhm.
Hobbs got the win here, so
Yep.
big win for Hobbs. I'm happy to see that.
Yep. Are they calling you
Um,
about that whole thing that we were talking about a couple weeks ago? Finally getting back in touch with you?
no, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
probably a spam call
Oh,
actually,
okay.
because most of the
Well, I just thought it was back that they're following calling you 2 weeks after we tried calling them, getting a phone call back for just a little explanation on the whole thing. I
not
forgot
yet,
what it was.
but great win for Powerhouse Hobbs, and I'm glad. I think Hobbs is like a future star, so I think
Yeah.
you
Yep.
got to give him some wins like this at some point. But I was a bit surprised that he beat Brian Cage here, but I was
Yeah.
happy
Same
to see
here.
it.
Same here. But I think they're trying to set up something up with Brian Cage. Something different, and I think this is just a road to an end, the middle of the road to an end.
Okay, so also the really highlight segment of last night's Dynamite, we had CM Punk in there with Darby Allin and Sting. Then, of course, we had 2.0 and Daniel Garcia, who are, they're a bit of I guess, a unit right now.
Yeah.
They came out there. Daniel Garcia is going to be wrestling Darby Allin tomorrow night on Rampage, and they're upset that Darby Allin's not giving them enough attention because he's wrestling CM Punk this weekend. So they got into a little bit of a brawl. Punk hit the go to sleep. Then we had a nice little hype guy segment with Sting, who
Yep.
put over the match with Punk and Darby. Um, well, what did Sting call it? The going to sleep.
The G. I don't know what the
The
hell.
go. Sting
Going
said
to sleep.
Sting said in an amusing way, but I enjoy Sting as the hype guy for
Mhm.
Darby.
And
And
that was the first time Sting and CM Punk have been on the same team.
yeah,
The first time
yeah.
ever.
So that was quite a moment to have Sting
Mhm.
and Punk in the ring together,
Yeah.
interacting with each other. We've never seen that before. So we
Mhm.
saw that in AEW for the first time, and they really put over the match hard. So I think they're giving this matchup a good build now,
I
and I'm
think so.
pretty excited.
Yeah. Same here. I'm really looking forward to Sunday. I think it's going to be a good all out.
Now tomorrow at Rampage, it'll be Daniel Garcia versus Darby, and CM Punk will be on Rampage tomorrow, and he'll be doing commentary for the match to continue the build up
Yeah.
for
Oh,
tomorrow.
and here's I want to run something by you after this match.
Yeah,
Is 2.0 just pretty much doing the same thing they did in NXT?
I
That's
think
how it feels.
they were Everrise in NXT,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they were ever
I
right.
I guess that's kind of the thing, but they're heels now, and I think in
Yeah.
NXT they were more. What's weird is they were. I think they were on 205 Live, then they
Mhm.
got onto actual NXT, then they got I think beat up by Isaiah Scott's stable. What's Isaiah Scott's stable?
Hit Row.
Hit Row. I think
Yeah.
they got beat up by Hit Row, and then they got fired.
Uh-huh.
But now I guess they're kind of like goofy heels, I
Yeah.
guess.
But it
But
feels
I
like the
guess
same
they're
gimmick.
the same. Yeah, I guess they're the same gimmick basically.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what else. This was a good one. Tay Conti beat Penelope Ford.
Hmm.
Great match between these two women, I
Yeah.
thought.
It really was. I'm really impressed with Tay Conti and the way she's growing. I think she's going to be a superstar one day.
It would not surprise me if Tay Conti wins the women's casino battle royal this
Hmm.
weekend, or
Yeah.
if she has a good showing in there. Also, Anna Jay came out to help Tay Conti. Anna Jay is back, and she will be in the women's casino battle royal this weekend. So it's great to see her back. I hope she's fully healed from her injury and is ready to get back in there. So it was great to see her back. Britt Baker. Now they were also building up that Britt Baker had a huge free agent thing.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, we know her boyfriend Adam Cole, formerly of NXT, total free agent now. His
Uh-huh.
WWE contract is totally expired. So I think they were definitely playing into those rumors
And I think,
last
and I
night.
bet you there were a lot of people who are like already saying Adam Cole's coming to AEW.
Yeah, we don't know yet, but basically she announced, "I'm the hot new free agent.
Uh-huh.
I just signed
Yeah.
a new contract." Which Fightful, by the way, reports that news is true.
Yeah.
That she revealed that she actually did sign a contract
Mhm.
extension, which is smart on AEW's part to lock up a talent like her.
And you
And
know,
also, her girls, Jamie Hayter and Rebel, will be in the Casino Battle Royal as
yeah.
well.
And what's funny too is that she sold it earlier in the week because on social media she posted a picture of her actually check doing a checkup on Adam Cole's teeth. So it really sold very well.
Brit is smart.
Yeah,
She knows how to work the fans,
exactly.
You gotta work the fans a little bit. She understands that. So
Hmm.
I that you know it, I thought that was an amusing segment because she's the heel and she's supposed to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Also, so in our main event, we had the Young Bucks and the Good Brothers beat Jurassic Express and the Lucha Bros. Um, good little match there.
Hmm.
And then it looked like Tony Khan was losing it after the show or something. It looked like he was getting into the whole uh, uh, heel face dynamic with the Elite.
Yeah.
Apparently, they threw away the keys or something. There's a video online of him of Tony Khan coming out and getting angry at the Elite.
Yeah,
But
I didn't see it. I didn't see it, but I'm already dropping it down now because
okay,
of seeing what has over time in wrestling and being a wrestling fan since I was in the 80s. We're gonna see
oh
a new champion, and we're
yeah.
gonna see a new tag team championship. They're gonna switch hands this Sunday. I
You
bet.
you, you think both are going to switch? I
I think both
think
are.
the tag titles will switch. I don't
Mhm.
think the world title will switch.
Mm.
But
I bet.
we'll get into that in a little
Yeah, we'll
bit.
get into that. We don't want to get into.
Did you like the cage match though?
I liked it. I thought it was really good. I'm all, you know what? Whenever you have the Young Bucks and Lucha Bros together and they're fighting,
Mm-hmm.
it's always exciting. It's always entertaining. I I'm still not a big fan of their current the way they're selling themselves. I'm
The
still not a
Lucha
big
Bros or
fan.
the Bucks?
No, the Bucks,
Okay.
because it's kind of like, dude, you're already in your 30s and you're still selling it like that. It's kind of like, I don't know.
I think that's just their shtick, though.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, exactly. Them as people, are different people. But I'm talking about in the ring. I just can't get into that. For me, I just can't get into it.
Okay, here I have the video of Tony Khan going nuts after. This is from Cassidy Haynes with BodySlam.net.
Yeah,
I don't think it's got any bad it's just like what happened here. Tony Khan is mad after Dynamite went off the air, and I
and
think
this is off
the
the air.
Elite.
This isn't anything that any copyrighted material or anything like that because
No,
it's
no,
in the
it's live
video.
video. It's live video.
Exactly. So here we go. Let's play this right now. Oh shoot! I hate to have to go back and forth. Here we go.
Check the lost and found. I'm sure you'll find your keys there, Tony. All right. We got our fun. Grace.
Okay, so what is going on? What is going on there? Are they work? Is that like an angle there, or is that a shoot?
Oh, it's an angle.
Yeah.
It's definitely an angle. And you know what? It impresses me with Tony Khan and the way he comes out and he actually builds into this.
Yeah.
Because you could tell over the years in his life, he's watched wrestling and he's seen Vince McMahon do this. He's seen Bischoff do it. He's seen other guys do it. And he's kind of figuring out how to do it himself and how to sell it himself. And he's doing, I mean, for still being only what, 3 years? In October, it'll be 3 years since
Yeah.
he's been on television.
No, 2 years.
Well, shit, 2 years already. I'm
Yeah.
sorry about that.
Well, they announced AEW in January 2019. So, and the pay-per-view debut was May 2019. TV debut
October.
was October.
Yeah.
2009. So
2
it's
years.
just under 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah. The pandemic made it feel longer.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah,
I mean, he's doing a great job.
he's doing a good job. I agree.
Yeah.
And I like that we don't see too much of him. Like, I think one thing I had during the Attitude Era is I think after a while we just saw too much of the McMahon family, and I was like, after a while, it's just like enough of Vince McMahon already. Like, I get it. He's the crazy evil owner. All right, so let's get into AEW All Out for this weekend. Yeah. So okay, so we have some changes here. Originally, Andrade was supposed to be facing Pac for this event. That match has now been postponed, and it will not be happening at All Out. And the Women's Casino Battle Royal with 21 women will now be held on the pay-per-view main card. It was originally going to be on the buy-in pre-show. So now the buy-in is going to have a 10-man tag match. It'll be Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor of the Best Friends, Wheeler Yuta with Jurassic Express versus the HFO. So that's Matt Hardy, Private Party, and TH2. So that'll be the 10-man tag opener. I think this will just be Best Friends and Jurassic Express winning this one.
Yeah, I agree with that. But also, too, before we get into this,
yes,
was there any explanation with Andrade and Pac on what happened with that match?
I think my understanding is Pac isn't going to be able to make the event.
Oh, okay.
And I think Andrade still might work the event. And let's see, he's teasing like a mystery opponent. Because he put out a tweet, Andrade versus ? At All Out. So he might still have a match at All Out. We'll see. Let's see. Tony Khan, due to travel issues, Pac versus Andrade is postponed until a future AEW Rampage. So the match is apparently going to happen on Rampage now, but Pac isn't going to be able to make the event. Make of that what you will. I mean, look, guys, we are still in a pandemic. There are still some travel restrictions.
But it would be a great idea for the storyline, especially when he got him the limo and took him the long way around. Say that he booked him a flight.
Oh, okay. So make it so Andrade prevented him from making it to the U.S. Yeah, exactly. I like that.
I think that would be a great way to tell the storyline and continue the story for another day.
Okay, here's a tidbit. This is from Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio. Pac is missing this show for the same reason Sasha Banks has been absent from WWE.
Well,
thanks. Well, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, but thank you.
I do know what that means because I found out reading a couple articles and what they're saying. I don't know how much of it is true. But yeah, we don't want to get into that.
I don't want to get it. I don't want to get. But that's what Dave Meltzer reported today. So travel. According to AEW and Tony Khan, it's travel issues. So apparently the matchup will still happen at some point, but we don't know the whole thing there.
Yeah, but
I don't
this
know.
Little thing kind of shows you what it may be. So.
Okay, so opening 10-man tag. Any thoughts?
I think it's a good amount of setup, a good amount. I think it's great the way they're having it,
Hmm.
but I think Jurassic Express is gonna be, or Orange Cassidy is and Best Friends are gonna do something because I really don't think the Hardy thing is gonna.
Yeah, I think
I think it's gonna start fizzling
the
out.
baby faces are going to win this one.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Casino Battle Royal.
Mhm.
This is going to be 21 women. There will be one mystery opponent who is the Joker card. We don't know who that is yet. I think they have everyone. They have Anna Jay, Riho, Jamie Hayter, Killing King, Rebel, Layla Hirsch, Kira Hogan, Jade Cargill, Nyla Rose, Hikaru Shida, Thunder Rosa, The Bunny, Big Swole, Julia Hart, Tay Conti, Diamante, Penelope Ford, Red Velvet, Amy Sakura. They've got a good group of talent in here. So the winner of this match will be the new number one contender for the women's championship. Who is going to win this one, Mike?
I am going to pick, and this is just because it's my favorite pick,
Okay.
Thunder Rosa. I think
Okay.
Thunder Rosa is going to pull it off, and it's going to be something they're going to set up. It's not going to happen right away, but I think it's going to be a storyline they're going to start building on.
Here, my thing about this matchup, I could see a lot of people, I could see a lot of these women actually coming out with a win here.
Mm-hmm.
Thunder Rosa is one.
Yeah.
Jade Cargill is another.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure if they want to run Jade Cargill versus Britt Baker right now.
Yeah.
Tay Conti, just because
Mhm.
she's been getting a lot of big wins on
Yeah.
TV. I'm gonna pick Tay Conti for right now. And
Take
here's
on.
why.
Okay. Explain yourself.
Tay Conti has like the best win-loss record in the women's division right now. She beat Penelope Ford this week. She beat Nyla Rose recently. It just feels like they're grooming her for a title match, but she won't win the title yet. I still think they want to run Britt Baker as champion for a while.
Yeah.
I think Britt Baker is going to retain the title this Sunday. And I think when they're ready, they are going to pull the trigger on Thunder Rosa, and it will be Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker. And I think Thunder Rosa is going to be the woman who has to unseat Britt Baker at some point. But I think for right now, it's going to be Tay Conti, and she will probably wrestle Baker either on TV or the next pay-per-view Full Gear, and she'll lose.
Yeah.
But that's kind of, if I'm going to play fantasy booker, that's how I would book it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do eventually want to see Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker, and her eventually beat Britt Baker. That's what I want to see go down. But this match, I'm just going to pick Tay Conti.
Yeah. And that's one thing. Like, I think it's a good. I think it's a good pick as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the one I'm kind of like, I see a lot of the names that are going to be in this weekend's battle royal, and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
you have a good point with Tay Conti. I
Mm-hmm.
would go with that. Jay Cargill, nah, I don't think that's gonna be. I think she has a lot of work to do. Um,
I think Jade is good and she's
mhm,
growing.
yeah,
She has a lot of fine tuning and polishing to do, but
mhm,
I think she's putting the work in,
yeah,
and I think it's good they put her with Mark Sterling as her mouthpiece.
mhm,
And I think she'll get there eventually, but she's not there yet,
yeah,
right?
and it's the same like for Penelope Ford and the Bunny.
Yeah.
I think they're more. I think there's some still for some fine tuning with them as well as they're getting in. Uh, whereas Tay Conti's at a different level right now. She has a lot of positivity towards her. Thunder Rosa has a lot of positivity towards her. Hikaru Shida does. Uh, and Nyla Rose too. Nyla, even though I don't think she's gonna win it, but I think she's been. There's a lot of talk about her right now.
Right.
But who do you think is gonna be that secret entrant?
That was going to be my next question for you.
Oh, okay, I beat you to the punch then.
So the secret entrant is the Joker card.
Hmm.
It's got to be Ruby Soho, right? I'm gonna just. I'm gonna.
I'm
It's
going
gonna
with
be
two.
Ruby Soho.
I'm
I
going with
think
two.
if you were going to pick up a free agent right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I think she is a free agent,
Yeah.
Ruby Soho is the gal because you can really use her in the women's division. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
picking Ruby Soho.
Yeah. I agree with you on that one. I think Ruby Soho will be showing her face in AEW because I think they need more women just more women in the roster that could really, because they got a lot of guys. They got a lot of guys who they picked up. Need to balance it out with some women. If not, we're gonna see an Impact star come in, and I think it's gonna be Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green is she is a free agent right now, and she's been working Ring of Honor and Impact.
Yeah.
There's another woman who used to be in WWE whose non-compete is up right
Calling
now.
you right now?
No,
Oh,
not her. Not I did interview Chelsea though recently, and
yeah,
we did
exactly.
chat.
That's why I'm asking. Is she calling you? Did she hear what we said? And she's calling just to say,
No,
now I'm going to be a part of it?
no, that's not what happened here.
Or you and
But
her are not liking that
but
level?
but
Yeah.
here's one potential candidate.
Mhm.
Lana, Lana, the ravishing Russian, the wife of Miro.
It would be interesting, especially since he's already mentioned about his wife on
Yes,
AEW. I think it's not. Oh, now Lana's calling you. Um, I don't. I think it's gonna happen. Don't get me wrong. I think Lana's gonna be coming in eventually. I don't think yet. I don't think not now.
let's see. Here, um, let's see. What about Allison Kaye?
Allison Kaye.
Oh, Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb, the wrestling professor, she was injured recently. Maybe she'll be healed and ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Cassie Lee and Jessie McKay, the inspiration.
That could be a possibility, but I don't think. But I don't see them coming to AEW for some reason. I think
Okay.
they're gonna
Well,
go Ring of Honor or Impact or some other organization.
okay.
I don't know why. I just don't see them in
Okay.
AEW.
So
I think stay.
Anna Jay's already back and she's in the Battle Royal. So it won't be her. So Chelsea Green is a possibility. Ooh, here's an idea. Mickey James. She did do the women's pay-per-view with NWA. She has been working in Impact, but I don't think she's signed to a contract anywhere.
Yeah.
Deanna, what about Deanna Purrazzo?
Could be.
Okay. Tessa Blanchard.
That's another possibility right there too, because we've had pictures of her working out and getting ready for something.
I think if I'm gonna make a pick though, I'm gonna pick Ruby Soho, formerly Ruby Riott. She's just out of all like the sort of predictions you can make, I feel she's the one that makes the most sense. And she looks ready to go. Have you seen those vignettes she's been putting out?
Yeah.
It looks like she's hinting out like what she's doing next. I don't know if it's AEW, but if it is, it wouldn't surprise me. But I think that's a bit of intrigue that we have going on for this Sunday. Who will be the Joker? Who will pull the Joker card for the Battle Royal? Okay, so Satoshi Kojima versus Jon Moxley. I really wanted that Tanahashi match, but I think this will be a decent matchup at least.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll be decent.
Let's see. What happened to my display here?
Did you just get hacked because you have some top breaking secret AEW
I
news?
think reporting that news about Pac and Sasha Banks got me in trouble.
There we go. We're in trouble now. Here we go. We're back to what we did 2 weeks ago.
Well, I mean, look, that wasn't look, that was just
You're just reporting things that are accurate.
Yeah, this is look, I don't know. Look, I don't that's a rumor. I'm reporting it as a rumor. and that came from Dave Meltzer with the Wrestling Observer. So that didn't come from me. And look, that's Dave Meltzer, who's the most respected name in the game. Okay. Making his AEW in-ring debut, formerly The Big Show, Paul White versus QT Marshall. Easy win for Paul White here, Mike?
I think so. After what happened last night on Dynamite, yeah, it's gonna be a win. Because they said, "Oh yeah, they hit the surgically repaired hip." I'm like, I've never seen Big Show get up like that in a long time. So that surgically repaired hip is doing really, really well, and I think he's gonna prove a lot of people wrong.
Do you think Paul White will still be able to go and have a decent match?
Yeah, I think so. I think he can't do it every single night like he used to, or in that schedule that he had before. But I think once every so often, yeah, I think he could do it.
I think Paul White is going to pick up the win here. I think it'll be like 5-6 minutes, but he'll win. He'll get the win.
Yeah.
All right, they're calling this the final fight: Chris Jericho versus MJF. If Jericho loses, that's it for his wrestling career.
Mhm.
What do you think?
I think Jericho's gonna win because I don't think
Okay.
it's over yet. It's too soon. And MJF is finally gonna get the loss.
I'm
What do you
picking
think?
MJF.
You're picking MJF. You're thinking Jericho's done.
I
Over
think
with.
Jericho is ready for the next stage of his career.
Touring
I
with Fozzy.
touring with Fozzy and look, how often do these retirement stipulations ever stick in wrestling anyway?
It's
Come
usually
on.
like about 2 years, and they did just release, or they're gonna be releasing a new album, so they're gonna be touring. So yeah, I think
Ric Flair ended his career at WrestleMania
mhm.
with an amazing match with Shawn Michaels, and he got back in the ring in TNA.
Yeah,
So I'm
exactly.
just saying it happens.
Crazier things have happened.
I just think, look, to me, MJF is he's the future of this business.
Mhm.
He is the top heel in AEW. What would be better than making him the eternal top heel than ending the in-ring career of Chris Jericho? Like that would be the cherry on top of this whole Sunday.
Yeah, that is
Um,
true, and especially since we haven't really seen the inner circle together in the last couple weeks. So I'm wondering if
that's the
it's
other thing. I
finally
feel
gonna
like
seal this out.
I feel like the inner circle, they're kind of like going their own way now, and they're
Mhm.
kind of not so much a thing anymore.
Yeah, they haven't said it. They haven't really showed it, but you could tell like over the last couple weeks, we haven't seen them as much together.
And I feel like, okay, you can, if this is it for Jericho, you can make it into a big moment, and then you can have a big emotional goodbye.
Mhm.
Um, and look, for Jericho to do all these projects he's doing, between his podcast, Fozzy, the tour, the cruise ship thing
Yeah.
he's doing with AEW and those other wrestlers. He doesn't have to wrestle to be able to do those things, and
Yeah.
he can be a front man and like an MC without having to wrestle. Now,
Mhm.
look, that's just me making my prediction. I could be wrong here. You could be right that he'll get the miraculous win and he'll still wrestle for a little bit, but we'll see.
Yeah. Let's see
But
what
that's
happens.
just my prediction.
It all will be determined on Sunday. Sunday.
Okay, so for the TNT Championship, it will be Miro versus Eddie Kingston. I love this matchup. I would love to see Kingston hold an AEW title at some point.
But I don't think
He
it's gonna
he
happen yet.
he made his AEW debut
Mhm.
in a TNT title match against Cody.
Mhm.
I don't think he's going to win this one though.
No, no way. I mean, Miro, they're really building him up to something, and I'm kind of curious to see what the outcome is going to be. And I'm waiting to see what they do with Miro.
Okay, now that she's a free agent, is now the time to bring in Lana as Miro's wife and put her on TV, or do you think they don't even need to do that? Go in
I don't
that
think they don't
direction.
even need to do it. I think he's requesting it, but I don't think it's necessary, to be honest.
Now, you said something interesting, when we were talking about the whole Adam Cole thing before the show,
Mhm.
where like you said everyone thinks that Adam Cole has to go to AEW because that's where his girlfriend is. But like you pointed out, not everyone needs to work together with their spouse or their significant other, you know,
Right.
and it takes a special relationship to be able to do that.
Mhm.
And I think you hit on something very interesting. Maybe whatever Adam Cole's future is, maybe the best thing for him is not to be working in the same company as his girlfriend, you know?
So and it depends on where he wants his career to go next, because he's not really he's a young guy still, but he's not
Yeah.
like towards the end of it on the he's like in the middle
He's
of his
got a lot of time left.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's got a lot of time. I mean, if he wants to go back to a big company, I would see him going New Japan or AEW. But
Okay.
if he wants to go back to like a Ring of Honor where he's already been or something smaller, uh, it all depends on what he wants to do. And I don't know what he wants to do. I mean, I know when he was with AEW, I think his expectations was that he was going to eventually be brought up to the main roster.
You mean WWE?
Yeah, WWE. I
Right.
think that he always thought that he was going to be brought up to the main roster, but he lived the whole time in NXT. He was brought up once to
Mm-hmm.
SmackDown because of situations that were out of WWE's control, and they had to bring people up. But I think it depends. Like I said, it ultimately depends on where he wants his career to go. If he wants to go into that same type of limelight, AEW, New Japan would be great for him. If he doesn't, you'll see him in Ring of Honor or something smaller again.
But to tie that back in to the whole Miro thing,
Mhm.
you know, just because Lana's a free agent now, she might be doing something else in wrestling. She may not necessarily go to AEW just to be with Miro. She might
Yeah. But
be
also too,
trying other things.
with Miro and Lana, it's a
Yeah.
different situation because they've already done it. They've already worked together.
Yeah.
There was never an issue. I mean, yeah, they made it seem
True.
like a storyline, but it wasn't. But in real life, they were able to work together and everything was
Right.
fine. And they did it for years. Uh, so
I mean, they worked together before they were even a couple.
yeah, exactly. So it's like there's time. Those are one of those exceptions to the rule because they've
Right.
both done it for years.
Right. I mean,
Whereas
and look, a lot of wrestlers or a lot of wrestlers and valets have gotten together. Sometimes it has worked out. Sometimes it hasn't. You know, it kind of, is kind of. I'm sure there are maybe other examples, but the most prominent one, I guess, is Miss Elizabeth and Macho Man
yeah, we all know how
back in the
that went.
day. All
Yeah.
right, so for the women's title, Dr.
Yes.
Britt Baker versus Chris Statlander. I think this is going to be a great match, hard fought.
Mhm.
Britt Baker will retain the title though.
I agree with you. I think Chris Statlander is a great up and coming wrestler in AEW, but I don't think it's going to be her time yet. I think Britt Baker's definitely going to retain the belt because I think, and I agree with you. I think we had talked about this in the past that she's going to hold it for about a year, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be if
I
that.
want I want her to hold the belt for like at least a year,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, because I think it shows how strong of a wrestler she is. It really puts some meat into the bones of it, etc. If then there is a rematch between her and
Hmm.
Thunder Rosa, which is still to this very day in September 2nd, 2021, that Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa's match was probably still one of the best matches I've seen so far this year.
Hmm.
And I think she needs to hold the belt for a year to really make it last and really
Right.
have it stick.
Like Hikaru, like no offense to Hikaru Shida, I think she held the title for over a year.
Yeah.
I think she did hold the title a bit too long, because
Yeah.
especially as a babyface.
Hmm.
Since Britt Baker is still the heel she's still playing the heel for right now, despite how popular she is.
Hmm.
You need to have someone, a strong heel, to chase for the baby faces to chase, and eventually unseat.
Right.
And I think you need to keep it on Britt Baker for a while, and eventually turn it over to like a Thunder Rosa,
Yeah.
or maybe even Chris Statlander later. We'll
Hmm.
see. But
Yeah. Somebody
now
who's
is
gonna
Britt
really
Baker's
give it a
time.
pop. Somebody who's gonna really give it a pop and push it up even higher. 'Cause I think Britt Baker has
Right.
took the women's champion another level, Women's Championship another level, and whoever wins it from her, and I'm hoping they do live it to her for a year, gives it enough time to put even more shine into it, so the next person could carry the ball and run with it.
Okay, so for the tag team titles in a steel cage match, it'll be the Bucks versus the Lucha Bros, Penta El Zero, Miedo, and Rey Fenix. I'm picking new champions, Mike. It's gonna happen. It's finally gonna happen. New tag champs.
Don't
Sunday
get me
night.
wrong. I love my Southern California boys from the Inland Empire, the
Yeah.
Young Bucks, but not this time. The Lucha Bros are bringing the tag team titles to San Gabriel Valley, up to friggin' Republic of Lucha to show them off.
There you go.
I bet you it's gonna happen. I'm picking the Lucha Bros, and we'll be having a party at Republic of Lucha in South Pasadena.
These two guys have a long history. They've had ladder matches, they've had regular tag team matches. I think this is the first time they've had a steel cage match, and I think historically a steel cage match is like the end. It's like you're shutting the door on the feud, and I think to do that you need to cap it off with the title change, and you need to cap it off with Lucha Bros getting the win. I'm not even sure Lucha Bros would hold the titles that long, but I think it's time to get some new tag teams in the mix and time to get the titles on some fresh blood. And I think I would have been fine if it was like Jurassic Express, but I like the idea of it being the Lucha Bros.
Yeah, I agree. But the Lucha Bros are definitely one of the most exciting tag teams at AEW. Pretty much one of the most exciting tag teams I've seen from the.
And I think Rey Fenix. I think Rey Fenix is one of the most over baby faces in AEW, and I think I think if they could play their cards right with Rey Fenix, he could be a huge star. Because during the pandemic days, he was getting good numbers for AEW, really, when he was having some good matches on TV. But I think this will be a great match, and I'm looking forward to that one. And okay, CM Punk versus Darby Allin. Now, I don't think we know yet. Do you think Punk versus Darby Allin will be the main event, or do you think it'll be the world title?
It'll be the world title.
Okay.
That's what my thinking is.
Okay.
But when it comes to this match, I think CM Punk's gonna win.
Okay.
But I think it's gonna be a good match.
I think because it's his debut in his first match in AEW, and it's in Chicago, he's gonna win.
Yeah.
If it wasn't in Chicago and it wasn't his first match,
if it was in Seattle,
yeah, I would think maybe
Darby would win.
Yeah, exactly. But it's in Chicago. It's his AEW in-ring debut. I feel like he has to win this one. But that's not a slight on Darby Allin. To me, the fact that Darby Allin is in this match shows AEW's faith and confidence in Darby Allin and CM Punk's as well. Because CM Punk has had nothing but glowing praise for Darby Allin ahead of this matchup. But that's why I think CM Punk is going to win.
Yeah, and then I agree with you on that. I think it shows how much confidence AEW, Tony Khan, and the people in the back believe in Darby Allin and what he's doing. I think he's won over the fans. I think he's bringing new audience into AEW.
You're right.
So I think this is like, if he loses, it's not really a loss, to be honest. I think it's a major win for Darby Allin.
Yeah, I think this is a case where I feel like it's win-win for Darby either way.
Yeah.
And a loss here isn't really a loss.
And and I'm pretty sure down the line they'll have a rematch, and in that rematch Darby will win.
Yeah.
But for right now, for All Out,
you got to set the tone. You got to set the tone for CM Punk's run in AEW. Yeah. And you can't have him lose his first match in Chicago,
Not familiar? Like another wrestling organization that we'll talk about later.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Uh-huh.
So finally, in our world title, we think our likely main event, it will be Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage. Of course, Christian Cage beat Omega for the Impact World title
Hmm.
on Rampage. So now Cage is trying to take the AEW World Title from Omega. So what are you thinking? Are you thinking title change here or what, Mike?
I'm thinking title change,
Okay.
but I don't know why. I have to agree with you on what you said earlier,
Okay.
and I think Kenny Omega is going to keep the belt. And it sucks, but I like Kenny Omega. Don't get me wrong. I've
Okay.
liked him for a long time. But in this situation, I think he's going to keep the belt, and he's going to be the only. There's going to be something that happens that's going to tear the elite apart, and
I can see that. Yeah.
him keeping the belt, he could tell everybody, he could tell the Bucks, I'm still in charge here. I
Right.
run the show. In You lost the belt, so you have less clout.
I could totally see that happening, and that's kind of why I feel the Bucks are going to lose on Sunday.
Mhm.
Omega's going to keep the title, and I think the reason that is he already lost the Impact World Title.
Mhm.
I don't think he's going to lose the AEW World Title to Christian.
Yeah.
I think he's going to hold on to it. He still has the AAA Mega Title,
Yeah.
even though he had that match with Andrade in AAA at Triple Mania, and he won
Mhm.
despite involvement from Ric Flair. So
Yeah.
he still technically has 2 titles.
Mm.
Now here, I just don't see Christian taking away both belts because I don't think he's going to become AEW World Title, and I think if Omega's going to lose the belt, it has to be to a more AEW type guy. I think,
Yeah, I agree.
not Christian.
I agree.
And oh, I want it to be Hangman.
Mhm.
I want the guy to beat Omega to be Hangman, but I don't know. Tony Khan might be thinking CM Punk, but we'll see. I don't think you give it to Punk though.
Not yet. Not yet. I think you have to give it to somebody who's been on the roster, because it shows that if you give it to a guy who has been on the rosters for the last
Yeah,
year to 2 years, it kind of shows like, oh, you don't have no faith in the on the roster, and you're giving it to these new guys who are coming in, who you're picking up from WWE or from
right.
other or
My
other.
thing is about Punk. If you were to put him in a match with Omega right off the bat, it would probably do good numbers, yeah. But we don't even know what Punk is going to look like when he gets into the ring on Sunday. And you're already saying he looks a little rusty when
Yeah.
he hit the GTS.
Well, when he hit the GTS, when he tried to pick him up, you could tell
Yeah.
that he's still working on getting that flow that he's had in the past. And it's no slight on Punk. It's just like,
Well,
shoot,
yeah,
you haven't been wrestling in 7 years,
yeah, he's
and
got
it's
to get his
different.
he's got to get sea legs back and all
Yeah,
that,
it's a
right?
different animal and different. It's not like fighting in the cage. It's something completely different, and he has to get ready for it. And that was his first time in front of people, actually showing some wrestling moves.
Okay. So that is AEW All Out. It'll be Sunday on pay-per-view and Bleacher Report live,
Sunday.
and it'll be at the Now Arena in Chicago. Okay. So anything from SummerSlam? Just some SummerSlam cleanup. Anything to add? So
No, nothing really.
We had Brock Lesnar coming back after
Mm.
Roman Reigns was
We'll see
vanquished.
him in 6 months, maybe less, maybe four, because Survivor Series is in November.
What was funny is after the show went off the air, you had Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman left, and then the referee actually directed Brock Lesnar back to the ring, and then Brock Lesnar destroyed John Cena. Poor John Cena. Then after a little bit, John Cena collected himself. He high fived the fans and shook hands with the fans a little bit on his way out. But that's going to be it for John Cena, at least until the MSG show, which will be
Right.
his thing. Now, we also had the big return by Becky Lynch. So Becky Lynch is back and the SmackDown Women's Champion. Did you like what they did with Becky and how they treated Bianca
First of all,
for
I'm
that
not
match?
shocked. I'm not shocked what they did.
Okay.
I think it was was it the right thing to do? No.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should have had a longer match, really show, like, give some respect to Bianca as a
Bianca, come
champion.
on.
But like, but knowing the WWE, it doesn't shock me. I mean, yeah, over the last couple of weeks, and I've talked about it, and you've gotten mad at me about it, that Bianca
Yeah,
has been a little sloppy with some of her moves and some of her holds on television, and
sure.
you could tell. And I'm just saying it because I'm a fan. I'm not a wrestler. I'm not a wrestler.
Well,
I've never been a wrestler. That wasn't my thing. That wasn't my
right,
sport. But as a person watching the show, and if you
right.
watch wrestling a lot, you will see like things weren't working right, and it could be Bianca or it could be her opponent. But yeah, I didn't like the way they did it. I think it should have been a full match. But also too, I think they want to show how Becky Lynch came back to be the man again after giving birth and being out for a year, and she just came in like if nothing changed.
I I don't like the idea of Becky being a heel now,
Mhm.
and I just didn't like how Bianca Belair was treated in that instance because she was your WrestleMania headliner, beat Sasha Banks, and secondly, the way they continued promoting Sasha Banks as being on the card the whole night. Before the show, during the show, they even showed the whole video, the video package to Sasha Banks versus Bianca. Even though they likely knew that Sasha Banks was not going to be there, and they knew ahead of time that she wasn't going to be there.
Right.
Um, so that bothered me. Now that said, the rest of the show I thought was a good show. The standout matches to me were Edge versus Seth Rollins, great
Yeah,
match.
definitely great match.
Reigns and Cena had a very good match.
Hmm.
And you know who had a good match? Damian Priest and Sheamus. And we
Yes,
saw a title
I
change,
agree.
and that they also had a good match. So
Hmm.
mostly a pretty good show. I had a good experience. Now I was in the press box for the whole night, so
Way up in the press box.
way up in the press box.
But
But
I don't know what was the press box like for wrestling at
it
Allegiant
was
Stadium,
good. It
because
was good. It was a very comfortable area. It was sort of like having our own kind of like executive suite kind of thing.
like every stadium I noticed, like here in LA we have SoFi Stadium, and that looks huge,
Hmm.
especially when you're in the top rows. It is looks like you're really high up. What was it like for you at Allegiant? Does it seem like you're really high up?
It
No.
was high. It was like higher than the upper deck,
Mhm,
but as high as it was, we had a good view. We had a good like view like down into like the whole bowl,
mhm.
and then we had a good view. We had video. We had high def TV monitors in the press box, and we could also see the video screens down in the stadium area as well. So and on the TV screens we could get like the broadcast commentary and everything. So there was a slight delay on those, you know, the TV delay.
Yeah.
So you could really look at what was going on in the stadium fine, as you know, as high up as we were, or you could watch the video screens and focus on that. So you had options, but it was I will say the catering there was also very good. So
Nice.
in terms of my treatment, I was treated very well. I was well taken care of, and I have no complaints there. I had a very good experience. I was treated very well. I very much appreciate that.
I
And
keep hearing they had issues in the stadium during that event.
yes, they had
That the
issues.
issues with the restrooms, issue with
Yes,
wireless credit card
the
payments.
issue was Allegiant is totally cashless. They are a cashless stadium. And I heard their credit card systems were down during the event and were shutting down. So people who wanted to get food or concessions, they just didn't charge them, and people ended up getting free food.
And you know what? And this is to be expected. It's a brand new venue. This is
Right,
the first. It's its second year open, but it's first year with people actually in attendance.
right.
Which normally a year ago you would have gone through all those kinks and dealt with all those, and it would be fine now. But we're dealing with an arena that's actually new, and it's going through its kinks, it's going through its work. But it's really cool that they gave the food for free.
But now that
Not,
I've done this, I hope to do future events. They will be going back to Allegiant in July on July 4th weekend for Money in the Bank, which that is very interesting because
yeah.
that's not even one of the big four, but
Mhm.
they'll be doing it at a stadium during July 4th weekend. And hopefully when they come to SoFi, hopefully they will make it to SoFi at some point, and hopefully we can both do that event.
Yeah, 2023.
Hopefully we're out of
2023.
this pandemic, or and the
I
world
hope
is
so.
still spinning by that point. But we'll
I
see.
hope so too, because if not, there's gonna be some difficulty.
It's good. We're going to be in big trouble. We'll be in big trouble.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, what do you make of these rumors we're hearing about NXT, Michael?
Oh, I just don't like them. I've already seen the new logo. I see everything that they're doing with it. It is just, I have concerns that the NXT brand's going to be brought down.
Okay, so the rumor is that Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard will be sort of overseeing the new overhaul to NXT. WWE president Nick Khan, he actually spoke with Ariel Helwani about the plans for NXT. He says they don't want to keep bringing in indie wrestlers. He says we're going to do a complete revamp of NXT led by Triple H. The look of the show, the production of the show, everything will change. And we already saw that new logo. So you don't like the new logo?
No, because okay, I'm gonna give you a little backstory here.
Okay.
Because when we were in 2019, when we're starting this whole we're at the halfway point to this a new direction into the way we're gonna do
Right.
Muse TV and how everything's gonna move on in the future. The one thing that was brought up to us by somebody who was actually advising me on what we should do to get more viewership, get more eyeballs, the first thing they said was to make the logo less dark and more colorful because it's more pleasing to children and the female audience.
Right.
Which
Okay.
I'm just like, okay. And which colors to use are exactly the colors that they're using for NXT. Hence the reason why.
Ooh.
Hence the reason why we changed our color scheme up on the logo for the
Okay.
website and everything, and we're going black to the dark with the like neon glow on the outline for the television product.
So this hit a bit close to home, didn't
Well,
it?
yeah, and I kind of get like I understand it. Don't get me
Right.
wrong. And if your business is what you're trying to focus on and trying to grow,
Okay.
and I get it, I perfectly get it. But NXT is a wrestling product that already has made a name for itself, that's doing better than even Raw is right now. Why do you want, and it seems like they want to cater more to the kids, which
Okay.
kind of makes me wonder like, okay, if you're going to cater more to the kids, and is NXT the product that does that? Because you already have Raw and SmackDown. I just don't understand sorry, I hit my camera.
Right.
Sorry, I don't understand the direction in which they're going, because another thing, I think they say it's being led by Triple H. I have a feeling not too long from now, Triple H and Shawn Michaels will be out of NXT, and Bruce Pritchard and
That would be
John Laurinaitis will be taking it over. I just have this weird feeling that this is the direction that they're gonna go.
that would be
Because
quite a pickup for AEW, wouldn't
yeah,
it?
well, because Triple H, let's be honest, Triple H and Shawn Michaels have really made a very,
Right.
very strong product with NXT, and I think it's this old, and I'm sorry to
Right.
put it this way, but it is the old mentality coming in and saying, why are we going to go this new direction? Why are we going to go with this new product? Yes, it's successful, but we want to make it profitable. So let's hit the kids, let's hit the families, let's hit all that.
But here's
And
my issue with that idea.
Mhm.
If the rumors are true, and if Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard are overseeing the big picture elements of this new NXT overhaul, what do Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon know about what kids today want? Are they in touch
Exactly.
with what kids even like right now?
I mean, Vince McMahon just had a birthday. What is it? His
He's in his 70s.
78th or 79?
76.
76. I'm missed it by 2 to 3. Like, seriously, what do they know what the kids want today?
Bruce Pritchard is 58. So, yeah.
He doesn't look 58, trust me. He looks a lot older. I
Okay.
thought he was gonna be
Well, I'm not,
um
it's
that's just me.
it's I don't. I guess the proof will be in the pudding, and we'll see how this overhaul goes. But to me, the rumored edict is they want big guys, 6'2" and over 240 pounds. Like to me, that's an antiquated, outdated mentality, and I feel
Well,
like
and
that
that's the
mentality. That
and that's the thing
mentality
I've
has been outdated since Bret Hart became the world champion, and that
and
was
and
almost 30 years ago.
And that's the thing I was telling you about, and we have talked about it in the show in previous shows. Is the
Okay,
fact that Vince McMahon likes these big guys, and those big guys, it's not that's not the way today is. That's not the way of the future. You don't
right,
see guys who are that jacked anymore, who look like they're on steroids. I mean, you even see John Cena. John Cena isn't as jacked as he used to be.
right.
He has worked his way down because he's an actor and he's more physical. He's a different type of athlete. We've seen it with Seth Rollins. They're athletic, but they're not jacked. They can move around. They can do different flips. They're athletic. But Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchard, and all these guys are still thinking like if we're in the friggin' 80s, and we're not. This is a
I
modern
like
day.
look, I like the big guys too, but
Do you now?
you
Explain a little bit more about that. Not just
but
kidding.
pro wrestling, big titans, big hosses,
Yeah,
body slamming and doing the big slams and big impact. I like that,
yeah.
but you know there aren't many guys like that who know how to work.
Hmm.
And then the guys they have had that were halfway decent, they sent him out to pasture. Look at Braun Strowman,
Yeah,
and Braun Strowman himself was dropping a lot of mass and getting really lean
yeah.
toward the end of his run. I think Braun even knew, it was considering he's such a big guy, it's better for him to slim down a little bit.
And also too, like
So
you're not gonna get guys
Bray
like
Wyatt,
Bobby.
Bray Wyatt fits
Yeah,
Bray Wyatt too.
yeah,
The he fits their dimensions, and they got rid of him.
exactly. But like you're not gonna find a Bobby Lashley where he's that big and he's that athletic and he's that
Or an Undertaker or
exactly. You're
whatever.
not gonna find guys like that big anymore. You may find a few, but you're not gonna find this massive muscle like in the old days, like Hercules Hernandez and everybody else that big. Where
And a lot of those guys didn't get those physiques naturally. You know what I mean?
exactly.
So yeah, and I just feel like at the time when they went with Bret Hart, that was during the when the steroid trials were
Hmm.
starting up, and I just feel like it wasn't a coincidence that they made Bret Hart the new face of the company. And I just feel like to still be in this mindset, we need big guys over 6 foot, over 240 pounds, when that notion has been shattered by the likes of Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels since the early 90s. It's
Yeah.
silly to me, but I don't know. But I think ultimately we'll see how this overhaul and this new NXT goes, which is supposed to start soon. But I have some serious questions about who is running the ship over there in WWE.
And here's
Well,
the thing: we're gonna see quick results if this doesn't pan out, and I'm curious to see what the ratings are with AEW.
now, supposedly, the reason this is happening is because Triple H is being punished because they lost the ratings to AEW, or that's the that's the tidbit that Dave Meltzer put out on Wrestling Observer. Do you think Triple H is being punished that they couldn't beat AEW in the
I
ratings?
I think so. I think so. As much as they like to say that the AEW is not a concern,
Mm-hmm.
I think it is. I think well, Triple H has said that he had looked at the product and he's been looking at its competition because you know what? That's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
When you own a business, you look at your competition to see what they're doing and see how because you need to make adjustments. Anything could happen. Like AEW could come around and take the lead. But if you want to keep the lead, you got to know what everybody else is doing. So after you make the adjustments to keep the lead. And I think Triple H was doing that. I think he was doing a great job, and he's getting punished for it. Un with with like getting punished for no reason at all because he's done such a great job with that product. I mean, it's still better than Raw. Raw has been a joke for ever since after WrestleMania. It's just been
Oh,
bad.
and Raw this week, they announced Sheamus versus Lashley didn't happen.
Mhm.
Miz versus John Morrison didn't happen. And Dewdrop versus Ava Marie didn't really happen, but it's probably for the best that it didn't. But
Yeah.
yeah, like
And then I'm hearing, I
Raw
don't know
is
if
like
you,
upside down.
yeah, and I don't know if you saw the rumors that like literally Vince McMahon was tearing scripts up
Yeah.
before the show was even supposed to start.
Yeah, that came from PWI Insider, so that didn't come from Wrestling Observer. But yeah, so Raw this week, apparently Vince tore up multiple scripts, the original script for Raw and the rewrites, and then they wanted new ideas. Apparently, the writers were pitching new ideas, and Vince was shooting them all down. So
That's
yeah,
why I say he's gonna be sinking his own ship. And what happens when all products go down on the ratings? And I think Fox. I think the only one that's safe is SmackDown because he has to answer to Fox.
right.
And Fox has literally been on their case when ratings drop. So I mean,
We got a bit of a boost with John Cena, but now Cena's
yeah,
gone again, so we'll see what happens there.
yeah,
So tomorrow we're gonna have Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns in for the Universal title. Now that's interesting because that could basically be the Extreme Rules main event, you know? So I'm
mhm.
curious. I'm curious to see if that's going to set up a rematch down the line, or if something's going to happen there. But I'm curious that match is happening this week on SmackDown. So that's what we have for SmackDown this week. Probably stuff with Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair,
Yeah.
and hopefully we'll get some kind of word on what's going on with Sasha. She was on Hot Ones. She did the one chip challenge on Hot Ones this week, so she's.
Yeah.
I wonder when they filmed that
I
because
don't know, but
I'm
I
so many
would.
questions.
Yeah, if we're talking about just the chip challenge. I don't know who anybody could friggin' do that. I would be dead
Uh,
automatically. And I like spicy food, but yeah.
I would probably rather do the chip challenge than the hot wings challenge.
Yeah.
The hot wings.
Hot wings, at least you got something to it marinates into the meat and it's a different story. A chip could have the high potency, three
I would
gallons of
do
milk just to
but it's
kill
one
that thing
chip.
off.
It's one chip though,
Yeah,
and
that's true.
see who breaks first. All
Hmm.
right, I think that about does it for me this
Yep.
week. Any other items you have to share with us, Mike?
That's about it for wrestling this week. But hey, you know, we're done with our first season of the podcast. This is the end of the first
Hooray!
season of the podcast. We will be back. We're gonna take a 3 week break because one, there's a lot of stuff going on, and also there's a little thing called Halloween that starts literally tomorrow with Disneyland starting their Halloween events, and then next Thursday is Universal Halloween Horror Nights, which is starting, and then Magic Mountain starting their Fright Fest, and Not Scary Farm is starting. LA Haunted Hayride, SeaWorld's coming into the game now. So there's a lot of things going on as well. We're getting film festivals coming in, AFI Film Festival next month. So we're gonna take a little 3 week break just to let things calm down because we do other jobs as well, and let it calm down. Oh yeah, and also I forgot we're launching a TV network, a streaming TV network, on top of all this, and me and Jeffrey are working at bringing This Week in Pro Wrestling to the network to make sure, and I'm gonna start working on booking some wrestlers to either come in virtually or be here in the studio. Uh, we want to make it a great show, and this has been a great show so far this first season. I mean, we started it in March, and we've grown ever since. Every week we grow, so I think it deserves to be on TV. And you know
Awesome.
what I say: do what you
Now,
can, do what you would.
Now, for my part, I recently got to go to CinemaCon right after SummerSlam, so you can also go to 411mania.com, check out my live coverage of SummerSlam and my CinemaCon coverage as well. So that was the movie industry event in Las Vegas at Caesar's Palace, where we got to check out early looks at some new and upcoming films, including The Matrix, Resurrections, Dune, The Batman. What else can
And
I
a
mention?
little
Top Gun Maverick.
and since Halloween is coming up, you saw a little film as well. That's
Yes, I got an early look at Halloween Kills.
Mhm.
Jamie Lee Curtis did some video recordings, and Halloween Ends is also in the works. So they'll be continuing that trilogy of the Halloween sequels. So there's a lot of exciting stuff I got to check out at CinemaCon. So you can check that out at 411mania.com. Also, my other 411 Wrestling Interviews podcast, that's on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, Stitcher, and Google Play. Check out my latest interview with Chelsea Green, who is now wrestling in Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling. She'll be wrestling tonight on Impact, actually. And we talk all about her return following her injury. So please check that out on my other podcast.
For you once we get off the air about Chelsea Green.
Also, and lastly, my review of Marvel's Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings is up now. Go to 411mania.com/movies. It's up there right now. The movie comes out Friday, so please give it a look. And that's some of the other projects I have going on. And fingers crossed that I'll be doing WWE and CinemaCon again soon. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And hence the reason why just that alone from Jeffrey is the reason why we're taking a little bit of a break because
there's a lot going on, you know. Things are going on now, so
exactly.
I had to risk the pandemic to go to all these things.
Exactly. And like with us, just to let you guys know first, since you're here on the podcast, September 15th is what I'm shooting for to launching our first episode on the new network. We just announced it today. We're going to be doing Halloween specials, and the first one's going to be of Halloween Horror Nights. We're going to give you a first look behind the scenes tour at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. It's the first time I believe that something like this is actually on television. So don't take it from me, but I've never seen anything like this on about Halloween Horror Nights on television. So we're
I
excited.
haven't. It is very exciting.
Yeah, so
awesome.
We're really putting the money into it. So what can I say? But hey, Jeffrey, it was a great first season. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I'm looking forward to working with you for season 2
and
bringing
man.
this into television and really do something different and something unique with what we.
I had so much fun chatting about wrestling, and now that I've had this exposure and had this interaction with WWE, I'm very excited about the possibilities and what's ahead and looking ahead.
Exactly, especially since next month WWE will be in LA and Ontario, California for SmackDown taping at the Toyota Sports Center over there. So there you go. And to end everything all, like always, thank you so much for being a part of this. We really appreciate you guys being a part of our first season. Thank you to Tascam. They supply our board, the Model 12. If you're looking for something for either recording or even if you got a band and you need to record some songs, best board out there. Tascam makes a great product. So thank you everybody at Tascam, and we look forward to seeing you in 3 weeks, possibly 4, depending on how things are going. And we'll see you next time here on This Week in Pro Wrestling for the premiere of season 2 of the podcast. We see you later.